want to share the first leaked image of the Leica M EV1 that will be announced this week, October 23. So be on mirrorlessrumors.com to follow the live event on that day for that camera. That will be the first camera ever without the rangefinder system, so quite a curious launch. We will also get the Canon R6 Mark III on November 6th, and we have finally some more specs about this camera to share today. There's also some weird rumor about another Sony camera. I will discuss it in this video and also catch up with some more news that we had in the past days. Before we kick off, the usual reminder to first of all like this video to help me in the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button to not miss any of the upcoming rumors. So before we talk about those rumors, a personal note. I asked you followers, subscribers to let me know if you would like to know more about my real life personal photography work, because I have a very big project I'm working on where I'm building my own camera, giant camera, so a giant camera obscura with lens and tilt shift system, everything to create direct positive images in camera. So 1 per 1 meter size images, big giant images. And we're going to do two art projects that are confirmed. One in the Dolomites that will kick off next year in May, and then one in Venice that will also happen maybe end of next year. And I made a poll asking you if you want to know more about this, and most of you said yes. So I will try to make a more serious video, so not like this, those kind of casual videos. A more serious video where I will explain you what's on my mind and how this works. But here by chance I have the lens that I'm going to use, the Nikon 890mm lens. So this is the lens I'm going to use. And the only info I can share today, because most of you are full frame shooters, the resolution of the images that I will create, and those are unique images. There is no negative, there is no digital copy. So one image and that's it, like a painting. The resolution corresponds to 7193 Sony a7R5 full frame sensor, so 61 megapixel sensor. You make the math, 61 per 7153. That's based on the resolution of the paper, resolution of the lens, and knowing also that this is a direct positive, so there is no negative and process in between. That's more or less the resolution I would get from this camera. So I will work on it, and then in a couple of weeks hopefully you will see the first video, and maybe if you then like it I can make a series, because we are building the camera right now. Now let's kick off with the Leica M EV1. So first of all, the announcement will happen October 23, and you can follow the announcement live on mirrorlessrumors.com. So that's where I will live blog and let you know what's going on with the new Leica. Because basically after 70 years we're getting the first Leica M mount camera without rangefinder system. This will be the first camera with electronic viewfinder, and here is the first leaked image of this camera, and no surprise, it looks like the Leica M11 without the rangefinder system. The first thing you will notice is the big viewfinder on the left corner. This is quite a lot bigger than the rangefinder system, and you also see a big button near the electronic viewfinder. I don't know if this is a button or an eye sensor. I don't have info about that yet, but that's the major aesthetic change of the camera. Inside, of course, it will have an electronic viewfinder, rumored to be around 5.76 million dot. I want to show you the rest of the specs that have been leaked through the Leica rumor sites and Weibo and other accounts. So basically this is going to be an M11 with electronic viewfinder. It uses the same Leica M11 sensor, that because it has an electronic viewfinder, it also has focus peaking. It's a tiny bit lighter than the M11, so 45 grams lighter. That's because it doesn't use all that glass that you need for a rangefinder system. Price is 7,950 euro. That's also something that I told you many weeks ago, and the announcement is going to happen this week. So stay tuned on mirrorlessrumors.com, and I think this will be a popular camera. Many Leica purists will not like it, but you always will have the option of the rangefinder system, which I do appreciate. But for many photographers, they need a reliable camera, they need reliable focusing. This camera is way more usable, so they will have the option to enter the Leica M mount system with the Leica M EV1. And I think it will be a success. That's my opinion, but let me know in the comment system if you agree with me. Moving on, the Canon R6 Mark III is coming on November 6th. That's 100% confirmed. and we have some additional specs. So here's the spec list for this camera. The sources of those specs are Ordinary Filmmaker and CanonRumors.com, so check them out. And basically the Canon R6 Mark III will have the same C50 sensor, so 32 megapixel resolution, 40 frames per second for the electronic shutter. It will use the LP-E6P battery. It has Canon Log 2 and 3, shoots all inter, 7K open gate. It has one CF Express Type B slot and one SD slot, and you can also pause the video now to read the rest of the specs, but that's what we can expect from the Canon R6 Mark III, and I think it's going to be a very popular camera. And like I told you many times before, the Sony a7 IV is likely to be announced 1 week after, so mid-November, and be the direct competitor to the Canon R6 Mark III, so hopefully the a7 V will be as exciting as the Canon R6 Mark III will be. In my opinion, the Canon will be a very solid camera. When it comes to Sony, I also got an additional rumor about another camera that is quite weird. I'm trying to make sense of it, but basically one of my readers on sonyalpha.com went to one of the two big photography stores in New York, and he found out, he has been told that the Sony a1 II cannot be ordered anymore because there's a new version coming. I think he is telling me the truth, but of course there's always the possibility that something wasn't misunderstood. So if you're in New York, go there and ask them again if this is true. All I can think of course, is not that the Sony a1 III is coming, but there might be something like a Sony a1 IIa. Sometimes Sony does it with cameras too. Like it happened lately with the FX3 that got an FX3A version. Maybe they changed the LCD panel because the production changed. This happens quite frequently. It also happened with the R series and so forth. So maybe there's a a1 IIa coming, which is basically the a1 II with an updated LCD panel on the back. Could be an option, but let me know if you know more about it. Just to tell you that there might be an update coming on a Sony a1 II, but it's not going to be definitely a Sony a1 III. No way I can see this happening before we are getting a Sony a7 V, the Sony a7R6, even the Sony a7S IV, and many other cameras. So if you hear more about those rumors going around the web, expect at best, if this is confirmed, and that's a big if, a Sony a1 II with an updated LCD panel, and that's it, okay folks? That's very important to keep in mind. One more update related to Sony a7 V. We got a new $700 price drop on the Sony a7 IV. This has happened today, so check it out if you want the a7 IV in the US. It got a nice price drop. As I told you before, the Sony a7 V will be priced close to $3,000, so $2,600, $2,700, $2,800, that's the ballpark. Quite more expensive than a Sony a7 IV, so if you don't need, if the Sony a7 IV is good enough for you, this is a good price, around $2,000 now, and it's still a very capable camera. There is also a $900 price drop on the Sony a7R V, a camera that I own and I'm using right now to record this video. I love this camera. I don't think there's a Sony a7R6 coming in this November, but I definitely can see a Sony a7R6 coming next year. So keep it in mind that this will likely happen, and I will be the first to update. I owned every a7R camera, a7R in the first generation, second, third, fourth, fifth, and I will continue to do so. I like this series, it's perfect for what I do, okay? Folks, that's really it, okay? Again, if you have some info, contact me here using this email address and contact form. Obviously, like this video again to have a YouTube algorithm, subscribe to not miss any of the upcoming exciting leaks. And I see you very soon, and in a couple of weeks from now, you will see what I'm doing with this lens, okay? If you're interested in something more artistic on this channel, then subscribe, because I will tell you quite an amazing story, because nobody ever has done something like this that I know. So, and it's going to be a bit mental, but also interesting because it touches the fundamentals of photography and also of the times we are living now, where digital is owning everything. I'm going in the opposite direction, creating something that is purely analogic, unique, and never done before, and it's going to be quite a nice art project. Okay, that's it folks, see you very soon.